I'm Scott Al Miller. It's the 22nd of July, 2021. This is Sheep Guarding Llama. Welcome to the show. And it is bright and sunny. It's not horribly warm today, but it is on the warm side. It's not like take your breath away warm, but it is step outside and feel some heat kind of warm. Surprisingly, given that it is a Thursday, at least I think it's a Thursday, it's gotta be, we're kind of busy. Yesterday, crazy dead. Monday, quite busy. Tuesday, pretty dead, because that was really the Monday. Yesterday, might as well have been empty. Today, it is, let's see, right at the moment that I'm recording this, 3:40 in the afternoon. There's 11 people in the restaurant, not including any of our people, right? 11 guests in the restaurant. You can see down the street, I don't know if you can see, there's a number of cars down there, and there's a number of cars the other way too, so there's a lot of people out and about, and people coming in from the beach and everything. So it's actually, you know, there's a bit of stuff going on in town. I have no idea why or what's bringing people out, because it's not the weekend, and the expectation is that the weekend is going to be pretty slow. So I just don't know. We did last night, so I didn't get a chance to make the video after we had it last night. Here, I'm going to turn around again so you can see a little bit more down the street behind me. Not busy by any stretch, but not dead either. So last night, Wednesday night, was the first night that we had paella here at the Simple Beach Lodge ever, right? And we actually didn't get to have our own paella as the first customers getting it. Now, we had a surprising number of people staying in the hotel. We have some regulars who are here all the time. They're actually from Ithaca, New York. It's probably the 7th or 8th time that they've been here in the 2 months that we've been here. So they're here almost every week. They're heading back to the States finally in like 3 days. So I don't expect them to see them again. I actually didn't expect to see them this time, but they loved our hotel so much that even though they had been here over the weekend, they came back a couple days later. They had stayed at Roca because we didn't have enough rooms over the weekend, but they come and hang out at our place during the day. But they came and spent the night in our beachfront room last night. So that was pretty cool that they were staying. And then it turns out that Suyapa, which is who has most of the cars behind me, probably all the cars behind me, they were doing something and couldn't take people. So their restaurant had emptied out, their rooms had emptied out, and people came to our place. So we actually had not much, but a little bit of people, because I mean, they were doing stuff yesterday because they assumed they had no guests anyway. And so those people who had come over from Suyapa actually ended up having the very first paella from our restaurant, and then we got the second, and then the third people to get it were the guests staying from Ithaca, New York. So we had seafood paella, and it was excellent. It was really, really good. Very exciting to be able to have. I haven't had paella in years, and she made it without all the shells and stuff, so it was just, you know, already detailed shrimp, and the fish in it was really good. I really like that. So you could just eat it, right? Except there were mussels in it, but those are really easy to deal with, right? It's not like an entire lobster sitting in your paella, which is a very traditional thing, and I hate having to eat around a whole lobster, because you're just pulling a lobster out and then trying to, you know, it's just a bunch of work. It's like, I don't know, it's like having a soup, but then also having a sandwich wrapped in a bag and just leaving it somewhere in the soup that you have to take out of the bag and eat separately. I don't understand. So that is my theory. Wow, there's a lot of people. That is my personal paella theories. So we did that for dinner. That was really nice. Great change of pace, and gonna be on the menu very soon. So that's just cool. So today, we got up and worked. I had 2 classes this morning for my Spanish, so I had a very busy morning with that. As soon as I was done with the second class, it just, you know, it was you get burned out, especially doing 2 classes. And so we did, we had to do a delivery down to, I'm pointing down that way, to where the river is being dredged, and we take the food down. Even though we're not supplying it every day, we do deliver it just so that there's some coordination. We know they're getting it, everybody knows what's going on, a central point of contact, because otherwise it would just be too confusing. So Yvonne and Wilbur and I walked it down. Dominica's like, you should go down with them, see what's going on, and get just a little bit of a break. So it was like a 45-minute walk, which is quite a bit of sun, and I didn't take a hat because I really don't burn. And everyone's like, you don't wear a hat? I'm like, seriously, I don't burn. But it's a good walk because you go all the way through town and then really far out on the sand. So you're really hiking it out on by the ocean. And it's very hard walking because the sand is very loose out there. So it's a lot of exercise, even though the distance isn't all that far. And so right as we were about to leave, the power went out here, which actually made it a really good time to spend some time doing it. I had nothing else to do. So I got some really good exercise. We delivered that out there, and I took the GoPro with me. So I got a lot, I hope, of good shots and footage of what's going on over at the estuary, which is interesting because it's a major project here for town, probably the biggest infrastructure thing going on here in decades. So I got some good filming, and I hope to be able to show you guys some of it. I'm saying this because I have not seen it yet because the power was out, so I haven't had a chance to look at anything. So we did a nice walk out there, and while we were there, the guys doing the work invited us to come at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning to see them actually open the river. They're going to be, they've dug in front of the ocean from the estuary all the way up to the beach, and it's pretty much done, and they're at a point where they're that's the chicken bus, and they have dug it out from the estuary all the way up to the ocean, and so there's just a thin strip of beach holding the ocean and the river apart, and now they're at a point where they're spending their time leveling out the sides, because obviously a lot of sand and stuff has come out. It's very high off the ocean. It's surprising how much sand is up there. When they say this is silted up, I mean, we're talking, 20 meters in the air that this has piled up. It's like dunes, right, that they're digging through. So it's interesting. So they've got that all leveled out, and at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, they're gonna go down and tear that last piece out at low tide, and they know they have to do it at low tide because that's how it works, so that when the water comes up, it starts to go through. So we're invited, because of our involvement, to go down there and be a part of that tomorrow, which is very cool. That is one of our chefs going down the street on the motorcycle with the old World War I style German helmet on. I have no idea what she's doing. It's very funny here because a lot of our people come up and down the street all the time, and they always wave, they always see us. So it's just very funny. So that is something we have to plan on for tomorrow. So we got back from doing all of that, and the power was still out for another several hours. We sat around and tried to relax for a little bit because we didn't know if the power would come back on. It did not. So I took a nap with the dogs to keep them from worrying too much, and they were pretty chill about that. And then I took a shower, and we hung out outside, and some guests showed up. And then the power came back on, so we were only out for a couple hours. It was not bad. The air conditioning is running now and cooling everything down. And I wanted to take a moment to come out and do the daily update because this is my one chance for the day. So we are actually up to 13 people now in the restaurant because 2 more went in while I was there. Oh, and we have a Coke delivery right as I'm talking. A lot of things happen around here. So that is where we are for the early day. And I'm really liking the fact that I'm able to now edit things together on the video. It really does add, I think, a lot to it makes my video processing a lot more difficult. And GoPro has made it that I can now do direct uploads, but now I have access to my Mac M1 and can put the videos together really quickly. So I'm kind of enjoying that. So even though it was just a little bit of time, the GoPro forced me to do it, like a week. It's cool that now I've got a process for doing other things, and now I know Shotcut works on the M1. So I'll be putting things together and making more interesting videos for y'all.